Could you tell me a little bit about the lockout and the strike? You said you went out on strike almost immediately.
1913. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to walk up and picket up and down Bishop Street, watching those that stopped in. That time they were called scabs. Mm-hmm. And if it was a thing that you were found calling anyone a scab, you'd be arrested, and you get 6 months.
Really?
Oh, yes, you get imprisonment for calling a scab.
Mm-hmm. And were you in favour of this strike, or how did you feel about it?
Well, the way it is, I was only 15, I hadn't the sense, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just went through the bunch, walking up and down. Mm-hmm. I remember one girl, she scabbed it. Mm-hmm. And it was one of our crowd. Now, I don't know which of them it was. I know I had a couple of cousins out too. And when she was coming out of the factory, they threw pepper in her eyes.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's the truth. Mm-hmm. She's dead and gone since.
It was very badly looked upon.
Yeah, dead ringer.
So was everybody in Dublin out?
Yeah, nearly everyone was out. Down on the docks was out and all. Mm-hmm. Down on the docks.
And how did you manage then for money, food?
Well, the way it was, I had my mother working, I was single this time, I was only 15. And my mother was working. But I forget what we used to get out of the union down in Liberty Hall, the old Liberty Hall. We used to get so much a week. Mm-hmm. And then, like in 1913, there was a regular sit-down. Everyone was out. Mm-hmm. And we used to go to Liberty Hall every morning. Mm-hmm. And we used to get a voucher. Mm-hmm. And I'd go down to T.C. Martin's on the south side of the quay, the timber place. Mm-hmm. And we'd get what we used to call the puck. Mm-hmm. We'd get a big bag with potatoes, bit of meat, tea and sugar, and bread, and a couple of other items. Mm-hmm. Well, we'd have to queue up, go in our turn. Oh, the queue, there was hundreds there. Yeah, down at the point of the south wall. And you come home, we were glad of it, I needn't tell you, because there was no shops or anything. There was nothing in the shops in 1913, because they were all dried out. But,
and did you ever hear Jim Larkin talking? Or?
Yeah, I used to go to his meeting. Yeah. My eldest brother was a pal of his.
Really?
Yes, he was a pal of his, my eldest brother, yeah. And they were the image of one another. They were very like one another. Mm-hmm. Very like one another.
And used to incite the crowd, or how used to talk?
Well, he used to talk about labour, all about labour and about the poor and everything else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember one time there was I always remember it. There was I don't know whether he was an inspector or an army policeman, but I think he was an inspector on the north side of the quay, there at facing Liberty Hall, just at the bridge. There was an inspector of the police. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll say inspector. And he was beaten up with a hurley. He died. He was beaten up with a hurley and he died.
Why was that?
He was like, they were against the police. The police was dominating them,
Yeah.
And of course they wouldn't have any. The men that time was very severe, very determined. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was hundreds out on strike. Mm-hmm. Hundreds.
Yeah. And about how long did it last?
It lasted a while. Mm-hmm. It lasted a while.
Yeah. And you yourself now, how did you feel about your relations with the employer?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, I hadn't the sense to give it a thought. I just said to myself, I'm out on strike, Yeah. I took it that way. Yeah. Because I hadn't the gumption to know anything about it. Mm.
Well, you'd only started working.
I only had started working, yes.
And did people in general enjoy being on strike, or were they annoyed? Or?
Oh, they were glad I hadn't to get up early in the mornings to go to work. Because that time it was from 8 o'clock till 6.
8 to 6.
And you worked of a Saturday.
All day Saturday?
Oh, no. From 8 till 1. Mm-hmm. And then you'd have to clean up where you were working and everything before you go home. And you'd have the place spotless. Mm-hmm. Wherever you walked, you mopped all around your place or scrubbed it. Mm-hmm.
So when you went back to work then after the strike, were conditions any better?
Yes, we got a rise, but I think, 7 and 6 I think we had then.
Which was 3 times?
Yes, 7 and 6. Yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm. When I went back to the Wakeful Loft, I got 7 and 6 a week.